Hello everybody, welcome aboard. We're today in Vancouver, Canada, and we'll be flying to Edmonton. It's about a 1 hour 15-minute flight. This is part of a VATSIM event. Northern Lights Tuesdays, happens every week. And yeah, about an hour 15-minute flight. Full packs on our 737 MAX 8, 169 passengers, 4 cabin crew and 2 pilots. And we've rewound the outside scenery clock by 1 hour to make sure we've got daylight for the whole flight. So welcome aboard. We have loaded all our fuel. All the passengers are in their seats and seat belt signs fastened. All we have yet to do is disconnect from our ground power and air, and also there is no ATC at Vancouver at the moment, but there is some in the Edmonton space. So I'm just doing a double check. Yep, so we still have Edmonton. They'll be up for the duration. Edmonton Center on 135.025, which I already have dialed in. Since we got a bit of time before our departure time, I'm going to review our flight plan. So here is our routing today, and it's 456.7 nautical miles. Vancouver on the bottom left, and Edmonton on the top right. So our departure today will be on the shortest runway at Vancouver. ATC might have given us a different one, but we're going based on the wind, which will be runway 13. And you can see where we are at the airport, so we'll be pushing back facing west. And then we're going to go Gulf Hotel to holding point Hotel 4, runway 13. Yeah, so the runway is only 7,300 feet, but still long enough for us to have a double D rate with an assumed temperature of 34 degrees centigrade. So let's hope that works out. Okay, the other unusual thing about today is that, I don't know if you noticed, but this camera is wider than normal. So I've substituted another camera into this view of the sim, and we're going to use the other old camera, not so old, still a very good camera, to do a close-up of the instruments. But halfway through this flight, I'm going to put the zoom back to the level that you guys are used to. And if you look at the left and right hand corners of this view, not corners, just the left and right hand side, you'll see where the window, there's a corner of a window on the left and a corner of the window on the right. Now, when I use the previous view, this is an 11 millimeter view. The previous view was a 12 millimeter view, and that's in micro four thirds, so it's the previous view was 24 millimeter, and this is 22 millimeter. So it's slightly wider. You can see on the left hand side the corner of my iPad, and then at the bottom you see more of the throttle quadrant, and you see the whole keypad for the flight management computers. But the instrument displays are a little bit smaller because I'm zoomed a little bit further back. But I'm experimenting with this while we're en route. I'm going to get up and I'm going to change the zoom level back to what the previous camera was, to 24 millimeter. And then you guys can let me know what you think you prefer. Also, with this wider angle lens, and I can go wider than this, but I just figured I'm just going to do it incrementally to see how you guys like it. You get more of a sense of this being a cockpit. You see more of the overhead panel in this view, but the instruments that are important right in front of you are a little bit smaller. Now, next time I'll also be setting up the camera so that it'll zoom in on my instruments, so that occasionally I'll be able to switch back and forth between a zoomed in view of my instruments. And hopefully that'll make it okay to be zoomed out on the main view. We shall see. So, yeah. So you see more of my arm here, see more of the controls, and then my activity on the center pedestal, sorry, on the throttle quadrant. And how far up can you see? This is the ground power switch. So you can actually see the actual switch now, which is kind of nice. And let me switch off so that you can just see that view by itself. So you can see here the full display of the flight cruise altitude, the landing altitude, and yeah, what else? Up here, how far can you see my hand? It's probably until just about here. So I think yeah, this is ground power available. I think this is where the PA light is, right here. No, it must be lower down. I gotta let it flash to see it. Oh, maybe it's right here. PA sign is right here. This one you normally previously could see. Unfortunately, that oblique angle here is really, really unfortunate. You see, that is actually reflecting my flight management computer display screen. And there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately, unless I cover that up. Not sure which one is reflecting. Yeah, you see that? But it's not as if you're going to be able to see what's on the gauge anyway, because it's recessed, which is really too bad. But anyway, you know, you get a sense that this is more 3D from this view than previously, which was a little bit more zoomed in and it gave you a more flat kind of sense. Well, you tell me what you think. Okay, we're still very early. I'm going to take a peek outside. Still no ATC in Vancouver. Okay, what's this? Okay, we have center. Oh, and that's the supervisor. So I think center is 13575. That's probably what we should be on. Yeah, 13575. So let me know what you think about the audio in the cockpit. There's audio coming from two places. 13575. And so it's coming out of my mic, which also contains the audio. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Which also contains the audio from any communications over VATSIM communications. 135.750. So that nothing there has changed, but the audio, ambient audio for the actual SIM in the cockpit is now coming through the new camera. I have a shotgun mic on top of the Panasonic G2, and it's a Rode shotgun mic, so I'm just capturing all the audio that's coming from the front here into that. Okay, 13575, let's see if we can pick up any Edmonton. You know, we're just listening in, we're not we're not really talking to them at this point. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a little fuel on and get the APU running. Yeah, we had a major disaster coming into Riyadh a couple of days ago from Dubai. And, you know, there was a little bit of chaos on the ATC in Riyadh, which is unfortunate. I enjoyed the flight and up to that point, but then I think some controllers, we got a little bit flustered and handed off to the higher level controllers who handed us off to Unicom. And so I assumed that I was on my own for the landing, and the audio alert from my VATSIM, VATScope V-Pilot was not making a noise. And so when they were trying to contact me, I didn't hear it. I just assumed that I was on Unicom. Anyway, I landed, and then I had a problem with connectivity to my pedestal and also my overhead, so my own ability to control my aircraft was challenged. So once I got on the ground, I disconnected from the network and limped my way to the parking bay. So that's what happened last week. So in preparation over here, APU on the bus. For today, periodically I have to spray contact spray on some of the connections, well, a lot of the connections. So I've done a lot of them. I haven't done them all yet, but I have done a lot of them. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to see what our situation is. I think we can retract the air bridge, the jetway. We've already closed the doors. Okay, undock the jetways. The jetway, rather. Singular. All right, I'm going to get back on Unicom. And we're going to push back facing west, as mentioned before. Okay, so we've got the APU on, so we can disconnect the ground power, and you can see me doing it. Okay, ground power is disconnected, and now we can remove ground power and ground air. Okay, so let's do the before start checklist. Okay, we need smart cars activated. Okay, let's activate this. Okay, tracking is connected. And we're going to be 15 minutes early. That's okay though, right? Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 250 out of stand 15 is pushing back shortly facing west. Vancouver traffic. All right.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Roger.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Flight deck door is closed. Fuel is sufficient. Passenger signs are on. Windows locked. MCP is all set. Takeoff speeds are set. CDU pre-flight completed. We are on a Vancouver 2 departure. And rudder trim has been set. Taxi briefing, we've already been through that, but we're going Golf Hotel, Hotel 4, holding point runway 13, and anti-collision lights on. Before start checklist completed. Okay, so we're gonna do nose left.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
2359. Okay, so let's get all the fuel pumps on, and we'll start engine number 2. Both the fuel levers up, so it's automatically spooled up. I heard another voice. Don't know if they were also in Vancouver. Yeah, there is another aircraft, Air Canada 1570, going to also Edmonton.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Unlocking gear.
Okay, so engine number 2 started. Start engine number 1.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Motoring 21%. Still 21%. Okay, now N2 rising. 22, 3, 4, 5. Fuel flow on. Thank you. That's our agent. All right, we're spooling up both engines. Trying to think about where that other aircraft is. Well, he's probably going to go take off on. Well, we'll see what he's going to take off on. We don't necessarily have to go the same way.
Traffic Air Canada 1570, taxi Juliet Lima, full short 08 right.
Oh, he's going 08 right. Okay. No worries. And today's date is the 18th of September. Okay, 2 good engine starts. So, let's get them on the bus. Okay, I'm getting juice. All right, let's take the engine bleed off, the APU bleed off, and APU off. Packs are on. Okay. Start switches to continuous. Probe heat on. Electrics on. Anti-collision on. Okay, all the packs back on. We're set there. Okay, all set there. Flaps 5. And let's check out the controls. So I'll have to remember to switch the zoom angle back a little bit. Centered, rudder right, centered. Okay. Steering is good. Recall checked. Okay, before taxi checklist. Flight deck doors closed. Sorry. Before taxi checklist. Generators are on. Probe heat on. Anti-ice not needed. Isolation valves to auto. Engine start switches to continuous. And recall has been checked. Auto brake, RTO. Engine start levers idle detent. Flight controls checked, and ground equipment is clear before taxi checklist complete. Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 250, out of stand 15, will be taxiing to holding point runway 13 via Golf Hotel, Hotel 4, Vancouver traffic. Okay, folks, here we go. Victor, you ready? Let me take a swig of coffee before we roll. There's that Air Canada other flight, also going to Edmonton, but taking a different runway. We'll have to make sure we have some good separation, but I think he's well underway. Okay, taxi light on. Let's do it. So we're gonna go Golf. Hotel. Hey, Kellen, is that your name? How you doing? How do you create a sim like this? Wow, good question. It's not as onerous as you might think. Most of the components I have are from a company called flightdecksolutions.com, And that's all these instruments, the pedestal that you don't see, the throttle quadrant, the overhead panels, there's two, there's a main and there's an aft. And then there's the whole framework of a full-size cockpit and a whole bunch of liners for that as well. So all of those are available as components.
Traffic, Air Canada 1570, left on takeoff is 08 right from Lima 4.
Have a good flight. See you in Edmonton.
See you there, Cap.
And you know, you gotta be able to do some tooling. It's not like so easy like plug and play. And in fact, you can take a look at one of my videos. It's one of those vertically oriented videos with the overhead panels, and you can see some of the wiring that I had to do up here. So it wasn't so plug and play, but you know, if you're a little bit technical, you can do it. Now, having said that, well, I tell a lot of people, and it's also very expensive. I tell a lot of people that if you just have this piece, the mode control panel and an FS, if you can get those to work like with FS 2020 or with P3D or PMDG, you know, it enhances the realism so much just to have those, and you're still flying a desktop with a yoke and, you know, throttle. But that's a very good intermediate step, which I made. I made that intermediate step. I flew the PMDG NG 737 and in P3D. Was it P3D? I guess so. Or was it FSX? No, it was whatever was the last yeah, FSX. And it worked brilliantly. I mean, you know, there were some glitches. They weren't updating the software anymore, but you could do it in P3D. You know, you could probably get this to work, and also even in. Okay, I think this is my point here. Even in Flight Simulator 2020, you might be able to do it. I don't know. I'm not an expert for doing that, but I did do it in FSX, and it was brilliant. And that'll be much cheaper than buying the whole cockpit and trying to assemble it. Anyway, thanks for checking in. Okay, folks, this is Hotel 4. So we'll loop around to the right, and that'll be our runway. So we're just going to hold here briefly at the holding point. Just to set up everything.
Approaching 13.
All right, let's put on the parking brake. Get the weather and the terrain on. Transponder to TARA. Get the strobes on and all the lights. Okay, before takeoff checklist, flaps are set and trim is set. Before takeoff checklist completed. And we'll just take a look on VATScope just to make sure that we're all clear. Okay, the Air Canada 1570 is already taken off, and there's nobody else, no factors other than that. So let's get our departure planned. So we're gonna line up on the runway, and after takeoff, we'll do vectors to the point Vidri, and we'll climb initially 10,000. No, it's actually P3D. P3D V5 is what I have. Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 250, lining up on runway 13 for immediate departure on a Vancouver 2 departure for Edmonton, Vancouver traffic. Okay, parking brakes released. Okay, Victor. On. okay, something I want to show you. I try to demonstrate it
On
sometimes.
runway 1,
I'm going to spool up in a stationary position now just to get the engines up. It's a shorter runway, not too short, a 7,300 foot runway. I'm going to let my hand go from the throttle once I press the toga button, so you can see this is a motorized throttle and it'll push it forward. But that's not what you would normally do, but I'm going to let it go so that you can see it moving by itself. Okay, throttles up. Try to do 40% on N2 and toga. Oh, it's not doing it. That's very weird. I'm having to do it manually. That's very strange. All right, we'll spool up. To 83.1.
8 knots.
Okay, take up thrust set.
Remaining.
Rotate.
2,000.
Boy, we've made a full use of that. Oh, why didn't the auto throttle was not armed? That's why. Okay, I was trying to demo something and the auto throttle had somehow come off. All right, so we'll go command mode. Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 250 is airborne passing 1300 for 10,000, runway heading. Okay, flaps 1. So we're going to make a left-hand turn for Vidri. Vancouver traffic, Air Canada 250 is now making a left-hand turn direct for waypoint Vidri. And flaps up. Heading select. Wow, that was... See, well, you can do a manual push. But if you watch the throttle now, since I put the auto throttle back on, it should move by itself now. Boy, just when I want to demo something, huh? Okay, let's get that LNAV engaged. Okay, LNAV engaged. And I didn't get the gear up either. Boy, this is bad practices. Oh boy. Okay, we're good now. Evening. Yeah, absolutely right. Landing gear is down. You guys are absolutely right. Thank you. Yeah, I think I was frazzled by that flight to Riyadh. I'm not doing things correctly. Gosh, crazy. All right, let's continue to climb to flight level 370. Our final cruise. Man, not good. I think it was one thing messed me up is that my auto throttle wasn't on for the takeoff, so I was confused by that. And then, yeah, but you know, airborne, positive rate, gear up. I mean, that's like, should be mechanical. But when I was airborne, I was checking my takeoff thrust. I was focused on that, so that's terrible. That's why two-man crew, right? I mean, I'm really short-handed here with just one of me, but it's no excuse. Those are not good mistakes. Okay, there's Vidri coming up. And let me do after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist, engine bleeds are on, PACs are on auto, And landing gear is up. Flaps are up, no lights. So worst case, I would have discovered the landing gear at that point. Okay, not out of the clouds, so we will leave the seatbelt signs on for the moment. And the engine start switches. Doesn't seem to be any significant weather, so I'll turn the start switches off. I think that's the Air Canada aircraft ahead of us, about 40 miles, and about 8,000 feet above us. Okay, so for those of you that joined a little bit late, this camera angle is slightly wider than my normal camera angle. So the normal camera angle going by full frame sensor is 24 millimeters. Boy, we seem to be close to those mountains. And this one is 22. So I put a new camera on, and I've got a wider angle lens. And just tell me if you prefer this width, this angle. I am going to add another camera with a close-up of the instruments in front of me. So I guess you can't really tell until you've also seen that. But I'm kind of maybe leaning towards this one because you get to see a little bit more of the throttle quadrant action here. And also a little bit more of the overheads. So, but what do you think? Once we get cruising, I'm going to change the camera angle back to what it was on all the other times, so that in one video we can see the difference between the camera angles. But this one seems to give me a feeling more of 3D-ness compared to the other one, which is zoomed in more and it looks a little bit flatter. Okay, let's do fuel check. Vidri, we can't really do it until we get to Vidri. All right, we're on the way. Man, I thought there was some more contact problems, but it was the auto throttle. Why did the auto throttle go off? I just don't understand. Don't understand that. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, 66 miles to Vidri. Okay, you like the new lens, a little bit wider angle. You get to see a little bit of the corners of those windows. And, you know, when I set up the other two monitors, those monitors will be overlapping with those side windows as well. So you could argue that even wider would be better, but I don't know. I think you lose too much of the actual instrumentation. We'll see. So when I get all set and done with the sim, my wife is helping me assemble two bulkhead fuse panels that go behind the pilots. So it almost creates a doorway into the cockpit, and it's just all the fuse panels. It's not functional, but it just looks pretty cool. And then I'm going to attach a fire extinguisher to one side, the bigger side, the bigger bulkhead, which is behind the first officer. But that's going to create some challenges for my camera, for the other camera. This camera I might be able to still get away with. I don't know. I may have to pull the camera further back, make it higher, and with a stronger zoom, so that it's set up behind the line of the fuse panels. Okay, let me just check where we are relative to ATC. Okay, getting not so far away, so I think it's 135 Edmonton Center, 13575, and let me just switch to that right now.
Climb level 34, direct and the clock.
Yeah, the lens also is a zoom, so it goes from 16 to 24. And the other lens I had on it was a 24 to 70, so, and that was at its widest at 24. So now I've gone from this actually is 16, not 16 to 24, this is a 16 to 30, 34. So I've set it at 22. So it can go wider. Okay. Level 370, okay. All right, let's take a look at Edmonton and what they're doing. I'm expecting runway 112 for the landing. Let's see. Edmonton. ATIS. Oh, arriving runway 20, so I'm going to have to modify that. So let's do that first. So runway 20. So let's change the runway to 20. Okay, and so what is going to be the approach? We can still do the ALKS 3 arrival. And I think we're going to do the RNAV Zulu runway 20 with a DUTCO transition. RNAV Zulu, okay. So let's show on my flight plan. I also have the procedures. Runway 20, so let me scratch this out. Not that, we're doing runway 20. Yeah, DUTCO transition, RNAV Zulu, yep. So let's do that, departure, arrival,
And
RNAV.
WestJet 255, we're around 10 miles from our top
RNAV,
descent, and we're
runway
planning
20.
RNAV Yankee for runway 20 at Edmonton, WestJet 255.
20 with a DUTCO transition. Man, I'm not even seeing.
When ready to descend to 14,000 feet, and can you repeat the QNH at Edmonton? 2972, descend to 14,000 feet, WestJet 255.
296.77 Halo.
Check that again. Oh, it's probably a Gabet.
Descend 6,005 and feature 96.7.
Okay, RNAV 02. Sorry, RNAV 20. RNAV 20. And we can only do a Gabet. We don't have a DUTCO, so we'll do a Gabet. And then it's going to be the ALKS 3. Okay, execute. Quickly go and see if there's any ALKS. Okay, let's go ahead and run through this plan. Looks good. And from DUTCO, we'll go to Gabet. update the rings so that they're around the threshold of runway 20.
7,100, and we are 30 miles northwest of CYVR.
Okay, 20 miles to Vidri.
Set up 515 there for Fokker 70.
Sorry, let the folks out of their seats. Alright, so it's RNAV, so we don't want to tune in any frequencies. Let's just double check it's in there.
We're clear for the ILS runway 20, and we'll send 5,000 to my discretion. We'll let you know if we can send negative, we'll go with the visual flyback.
RNAV Zulu. .co transition. Yeah, that's weird. It's not in the system, but we can make it happen. Okay, we're coming up to our cruise out. Yeah, once we got a fuel check here, we'll continue the planning. It's going to be an RNAV, so this aircraft is equipped with IAN mode. So even if it's an RNAV approach, once we've got the indicators when lined up, we can hit the approach mode and we'll get indications on the primary flight display that look very similar to ILS. But sometimes it's a little bit flaky.
Well, but if you do call the same thing, so there's kind of good night, so we'll see about this.
Alright, so where is the waypoint? Oh, that aircraft ahead of us is the Air Canada 1570. So we can listen to what he gets. So anticipate what the comms should be like. But anyway, the looking at the flight plan, the place where we're going to transition to Edmonton for is Romra, basically.
Can you repeat for the
Waypoint Romra, which we're 183 miles away from Romra. So as we approach Romra, we'll start trying to reach out to them.
7,000, altimeter 2972. Watch it 255.
Okay, so now, Vidri, we have something to write down for Vidri 11.1. Okay, 11.1, so we got about 300 pounds more fuel than the plan. So I'm going to say that we're going to be 500 over for this flight. So let's 500 over. So in the top left, the left-hand side of the primary flight display for myself and the first officers, I've got a summary of the flight plan in the notes area. So right now I'm looking up the landing weight. Landing weight is 143.6. So let's add 500 pounds to that. It'll be 144.1. So 144.1. And we'll do flaps 30, auto brakes 3 as an initial. Okay, so with that, I'm going to now go over to my my virtual performance tool. They have these in the PMDG aircraft built in.
Remaining 075, check.
So let's do an airport. Oh, before I do that, it's going to be a landing en route at CYEG for Edmonton and runway 20.
188, 4,000, climbing to 6,000. Jevon 1.
No gradient. Let's update the weather. Got it, flight config, we want flaps 30.
188 identified.
Landing weight, 143, 144.1. So
Direct on course, maintain 6,000. United 2188.
about 100. Okay, and VREF is 5, and let's calculate.
Tango Yankee, flight plan close 0033, traffic 6.
I recognize this controller. He's a good guy.
United 2188, climb level
370, United 2188.
Canada 532.
Okay, so let's put in
You have for us to deviate
runway
left on a
graphic.
heading of 170 for approximately 30 miles for weather reported.
Okay, I'm looking for the preferred exit on the runway for runway 20.
Okay, thank you. Heading 170 will
Actually, Bravo 4 would be fine, and
Arctic 119er.
that's about 80% down the runway.
Gemini, heading 140, successful ILS,
140 intercepted ILS.
8,796 feet. 8,790 feet. Okay,
Just wonder if we could
that's
amend that flight plan to the ILS 12 for Arctic 119.
auto brakes 3 will be fine, but we could release the brakes early, because that's actually a whole 1,000 feet stronger than we need. But auto brakes 2 is technically not sufficient. So we'll go with auto brakes 3,
contact tower now.
and
Oh, that's 140,
we're
Gemini.
looking to vacate at Bravo 4.
Clear for the RNAV 20 for an odd large transition, was at 255.
Alright, let's try to wrap up this prep. Let's pull up the approach plate for the RNAV Zulu runway 20. And decision height,
I'll get back to you for 117.01.
we're going to say 2,717 feet.
At Center United 2188, just wanted to clarify, do you clear us direct Tovis, or you just want to continue on the arrival, or sorry, departure?
United 2188 to our clear direct Tovis.
Direct Tovis on course, United 2188, thanks.
And then this is center, or Edmonton Center Market 7601. We'd like to request the RNAV Zulu runway 11 from Edmonton. Go enable direct Edmonton on course, bunker 77. Edmonton Center, unit 43 heavy,
Okay.
4,500 climbers.
Set now. And the QNH is
Unit 43 heavy at center is easily identified.
2972.
This is on course, climb flight level 390.
Direct Tovis on course up to flight level 390, unit 43 heavy.
Well, okay, 2972. So our intercept is going to be 5,000. And the missed approach also 5,000. And our gate is crippling down stuff here.
Arctic 119er.
52, 54, or 56.
Arctic 119er, stand by.
Okay. What else?
Canada 532, we are ready to proceed back of course. Going to provide us with a vector, you have for us to
So
direct
once we confirm with the approach that we want RNAV Zulu runway 20 with a runway 20 with a DUDCO transition, we'll solidify those points in the FMC so that we get a more accurate projection of time, distance, etc.
Okay, no worries. In the meantime, we are directing to Golf Echo Golf currently now.
Yeah, so updates-wise, I cleaned up some contacts to try to prevent the disconnect of my pedestal and my overhead panels from the last flight. Still got a little bit more to do on that front, but I have done quite a bit of it. I replaced this camera and also replaced the lens on this camera for this view, but the next flight I'm probably going to have another camera set up somewhere on to the right of this camera looking over here. So I'm going to have that set up, and then I'm going to see if I can get some improved audio by using a wireless mic setup. How's my audio now? You guys think it's okay? I might be able to get it cleaner by using a wireless mic setup, which I'm going to experiment with as well.
Is offline.
Oh, what?
Thanks very much, Unicom 122. No, thanks so much for your service. Canada 522, bye-bye.
Oh, wow.
OS 255, contact tower now.
118.3 for WestJet 255 today.
Wow, he's going offline?
And sensing, this is WestJet 145 with you, passing through flight level 0 -0.
WestJet 145 at the center, identified, left turn, direct out from on course. Climb level 360.
Was it him that was going offline or somebody else? Okay, so maybe he's staying on.
Climb flight level 360
I
and
gotta
direct
focus.
out from on course, WestJet 130.
Okay, I'm going to stay on this frequency for a while. So, Edmonton, there is a tower, so let's get what his frequency is going to be. Edmonton.
Center, Delta 1459, we're on the ground at Edmonton, holding on the runway 12, ready for departure. The tower seems to have disappeared.
Oh, is the tower just going offline?
Delta 1459, I do believe they lost connection with the 110 at 9. Clear for takeoff, runway 1. Call me everyone.
Clear for takeoff 12, we'll call you airborne, Delta 1459, thank you.
So we're going to get
Edmonton
Edmonton Center.
Cargo Jet 1905 Heavy. We're the cargo ramp at Edmonton. We had hotel just prior. We're looking for IFR to Denver.
Target 1905. Give me a second, I'll see if I get tower backed up, so you can be online in a second.
Not a problem, sir. Cargo Jet 1905.
118.
American 1570 with hotel check flight level 350.
Edmonton Center. Hello again. WestJet 255, Mr. Birch.
Okay, just stand by for 1 second, guys. I'm going to now change the zoom
Turn right heading
to back to 12 degrees.
300,
See if you can tell the
WestJet
difference.
255.
Maybe I'll do it and let you see it at the same time.
And cargo jet Edmonton tower is back online. Contact them for their investigation today.
Okay, back over to Edmonton Tower, cargo jet 1805, thanks, see you in a bit.
Air Canada 1570, I believe I made my apologies. Block 5363.
5363 for 1570, no
For
apologies.
the Zoom, we're going to go back to that's 12.
Center to 1459, we're level at 6,000.
Delta 1459, identified. Proceed direct to Fulvis on course. Climb pulse 390.
390 direct to Ovis on course, Delta 1459.
Okay, that's back to 24 millimeters like I've had on all my previous flights.
Block 1501.
Now, in this one video, we can see both. I'm using
That's for what's it, 255?
an OLED TV,
Negative, that was for a walker.
so it's not a projector. And right now I've got one 65-inch monitor out there, but I have two more in boxes.
You can call about 5 minutes
So once
prior
I'm
to
done with my
getting your,
upgrades to my camera system, I'm going to start
we can do that
installing the other two
171.
TV sets. So like I said, we're now zoomed in like my other flights.
Would you like the visual or try again for the
Honestly, I prefer the wider view.
A visual would be good, yes, what's it, 255?
You guys let me know.
What's it, 255, Roger, turn right heading 020.
020, what's it, 255?
Aircraft 1570 identified, information hotel, current expect only 20.
So Roberto, your home airport, huh? In
Expecting 20, 1570.
Vancouver, that's awesome. So were you, Roberto, were you watching before I zoomed in a little bit? I had it at 22 millimeters, the camera, and then I just changed it to 24 millimeters, which is where I normally have it. So I was thinking the 22 was nice. But you prefer zoomed in more? So this is 24, so it's closer. The other one was a little bit wider.
Roger, we'll plan for 12. Thanks for that. We'll take 119.
Okay, let's, did I get a fuel check at Vidri? I think I did. So now it's Romera. Because these waypoints are very far apart.
Walker 255 at 4 o'clock, 10 miles, 4 seconds.
Let's see if the tower is back in Edmonton. Oh, yep, they're back.
WestJet 365, airport.
Tower is back.
10 miles, 4 seconds.
What's it, 255, not yet inside the airport. What's it, 255?
WestJet 255, being still set up.
Well, you know, it's hard to judge now. We will wait until I get my other camera set up, and then I'll be
No, not just
I'll be
for
switching
the
back and
NQ,
forth
but
with those
I can
views.
take vectors for runway 20. What's it, 255?
WestJet 255, as long as you can accept the vector onto the RNF.
Okay,
or
yeah,
EE,
you prefer this view, right?
Otherwise, you have to have the airport
Yeah,
site or
and this is a tighter view. It still lets you see the top of the
Stand back for
throttle.
what's it, 255?
Yeah. You know, the thing is that this view looks a little bit flatter. You know, the whole display looks, the whole screen that you're looking at looks a bit flatter. Not so 3D, showing depth, but it is clearer. You can see more clearly.
I'm set up for the ILS, for the air now, for runway 20, what's it, 255?
WestJet 255, thanks so much.
Where is WestJet 255? He must be north. WestJet 255. That's fine.
WestJet 255, turn right heading.
Tell right, heading 120, WestJet 255.
Hey, thanks for your input, guys. Just so you guys know, my flight plan's coming up tomorrow. I checked.
Air Canada
If Montreal Wednesdays is happening, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I'm also doing a Friday flight, and it's a Dubai online. Just check that out on the VATSIM events. And I'm thinking of flying back from Riyadh. After I did my airplanes to my repairs to my aircraft in Riyadh, this is the homebound flight, or it's not really homebound because I'm flying a Qatar Airways Airlines flight. But anyway, it's the return trip from the flight I did last. You know, I found that flights to and from Dubai, number 1, and Doha, number 2, are like the most popular flights for my stream. I mean, there must be a lot of folks interested in the Middle East, and particularly those two airports. One is Doha in Qatar, and the other one is Dubai in the UAE.
The final and clear for the air nav approach runway 20, WestJet 255.
Okay, that's WestJet 255, very close to the airfield already. Okay, I think one more thing I didn't do is set up for runway 20, the approach is 200 degrees, so I gotta change that. The course. Yep, so those are the two flights my next two flights I'm planning. Hopefully I'll have more camera angles. You know, check that audio setup is good.
Edmonton Center, good evening, Air North 563 with you, passing flight level 170, climbing flight level 210.
WestJet 255, contact tower 1873, good day.
183
I'm gonna
for
check in.
WestJet 255, thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Air North 563, Edmonton Center, good afternoon.
Edmonton Center, Air Canada 250, now level at flight level 370.
WestJet 145, say again. WestJet 145, welcome back. Information Bravo and Fort Mac. Expect from
Information Bravo is Fort McMurray, and we'll expect 26 through WestJet 100.
Okay, 250, Edmonton Center, good evening. Block 5307.
I'm sorry, was that for Air Canada 250?
Air Canada 250, affirmative, block 5307.
5307, Air Canada 250. I've been wanting to do some flight sim videos also, but I can never find the time.
Hotel, current in Edmonton.
Roger, we will plan for 1-2 for our 2 routing.
Okay. Wanting to do some flight sim videos also, but I can't find the time. You know, once you've got it set up,
Okay, 250 identified information hotel in Edmonton, expect runway 20.
okay, information hotel, expect runway 20, Air Canada 250. Yeah, once you set it up, and you know, this is streaming, so I don't have to worry about recording stuff and having lots of big files all over the place. This is streaming directly to YouTube. That's the part I like. And the other part I like is there's no video editing to do afterwards, except for maybe hashtags and time codes that I like to do, but I haven't done the last 3 flights. But yeah, I mean, do it, man. Make some time. Oh yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I wish I could use that. You know, the scenery is so spectacular. And, you know, like they say, patience, grasshopper. I'll get to that soon enough, either through to 2020 or 2024. Okay, when we're maybe 20 miles away from Urpuks, I'll request lower. We'll come up to Romero, we'll do a fuel check. Yeah, so that last video stream that I did, Dubai to Riyadh, yeah, although it ended in a somewhat of a disaster, it's still, you know, 708 viewers. For me, that's a pretty high number for me for one video. So I'll take it. I'll fly in that area more. I got to look for a Fly Dubai livery. The aircraft. Oh, let me see. Yeah, when it comes out, for sure. The aircraft livery I'm looking for is Fly Dubai. I'm going to see if I can get that. So for flights to and from Dubai, I can use that. And then I've got also the Qatar Airways livery, which is great. The livery I have is custom made by a friend of mine. And the base model is TDS. That's what the creator of this sim, which is Sim Avionics, has designed it to work with TDS 737 Maxes.
Arctic 250, wind ready, descend 12 south, script 14 south, Edmonton, 8. Edmonton, on the next
2972, that's what I have. So after the Friday flight, I don't know what I'm going to do after that. I think I'm not available Sunday, Monday, but maybe up again on Tuesday. Saturday, I might do a flight. We'll see. But right now it's tomorrow, assuming there is a Montreal Wednesday, and then Friday Riyadh to Dubai. Saturday, don't know, we'll see.
Aircraft 1570, contact Edmonton Center 135.02 today.
135.02, target A, 1570.
Oh, different frequency. What was the frequency?
2188, contact Edmonton Center, 135.02. Good day.
125.575 for United 2188. Thanks. Have a good day, Jen.
United 43, contact Edmonton Center, 135.02. Good day.
135.02, United 43 Heavy.
Delta 1459, contact Edmonton Center, 135.02. Good day.
3502, Delta 1459, thank you for the ACC.
I can't 250, Edmonton.
Yeah, Air Canada 250.
I can't 250, when ready, send 14,000. Edmonton altimeter, United.
Okay, when ready, descend 14,000, altimeter 2972, Air Canada 250. He just didn't hand me off. Okay, so we've on the FMA we have LNAV and VNAV path, so we should descend once we get to on top of.
250, contact Edmonton Center, 135.02.
Contact Edmonton Center on 125.025, Air Canada 250. Good day.
I can't 250, it'll be 135.02.
135.025, Air Canada 250. Good night. 135.025.
Edmonton Center, Courage at 1905 Heavy. We're 31,000.
Arctic 55 for 1, we are approximately 200 miles, even less, like 70 miles to the west of Cape Dorset, CYTE.
Yeah, Arctic 5501, you're not in control there. Oh, correction, you are. Squawk 5501.
5501, Arctic 5501.
Center, good day, Courage at 1905 Heavy. We're through 5200, climbing 6,000.
Coverage at 1905 Heavy, Edmonton Center.
Edmonton Center, Air Canada 250 with you. Good day. Flight level 370. We'll be descending to flight level 250 shortly.
Air Canada 250, thank you. You're cleared to flight level, correction, 14,000, 14,000.
Okay, Roger. Clear to flight 14,000, Air Canada 250. Why did I get 250? That's
Center, Courage at 1905. I missed my instructions. You were cut off.
Yeah, I remember he did say 14,000, didn't he?
Edmonton Center, FedEx 587 Heavy with you, flight level 230360.
Coverage at 1905 Heavy, my apologies. You're identified. Proceed direct.
You know, I waited a long time for this.
350.
Direct Tobus up to 350, Courage at
I've been
1905 Heavy. Thank
simming
you.
since, I guess, the 90s.
Edmonton Center, United 2188.
So I waited a long time for this.
Southwest of the Empress VOR, flight level.
And now I've got a group of friends
United 2188 Edmonton Center.
who have got either half cockpits or full cockpits. Another friend of mine is
Center Arctic 119er.
building a Max sim similar to this one.
In 168.
And another one has a half
Arctic
cockpit
119.
737NG.
And stand by, I have a Edmonton altimeter for.
And then we also have
Roger, thanks, Arctic 119.
a real
Edmonton Center, Arctic 55 for 1.
777 captain for an Asian airline
Arctic
who's
5501.
also part of our group who likes simming.
Edmonton Center, Arctic 55 for 1. Can you say again the squad code for us?
And the guy who's building a Max
Yes, Arctic 55
is a maintenance manager for a Middle Eastern airline in Australia and
55 for 1, thank you.
New Zealand. So got quite a big responsibility, and he's a good sim builder too.
5 with the collect altitude.
One of our simmers in our group is a flying medic. So he's a doctor who flies in corporate jet-sized aircraft all over the world to collect patients who've gotten in trouble and need to be flown back with a medevac kind of capable aircraft. So, yeah, that's my group. Okay, here we go. Top of descent.
And Air Canada 1208, proceed direct to Oilers on course.
Descent checklist.
And Air Canada 1208, plan for runway 20 in Edmonton.
Okay, pressurization, landing altitude has been set. Recall. Checked. Auto brake set to 3. Oh dear. Slow down. Yeah, this is a weather change that's causing this. A new weather injection. Okay, it'll go away soon. Landing data, VREF has been sent. Approach briefing. Yeah, we're just going in on the Elks 3 arrival. Expecting RNAV Zulu runway 20. Come on, let's go. Let's get the speed down to 280 knots. Speed brakes. Yep, I call that a weather injection.
You descend 7,000.
Okay, so descent checklist complete. Now I think I could probably go back to my descent speed is 290, so I probably could push back on the speed interval. Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely true. That is very true. You know, and when I was contemplating it a few years ago, I thought I could do it. You know, I kind of saved up a lot of money and good job and stuff. And but there was no space. I was so disheartened. I've got another room where I have my office, and I was going to put it in there. And I was so disheartened when I found out that the 11.5-foot wingspan for the TV sets wouldn't fit in that room. So I said it would fit in the rec room, but you know, I don't want to turn the rec room. So my wife said, no, go ahead, do it in the rec room. What you could do is you just move your office into the rec room and then just take over the rec room. So that's what I have, is I've taken over the rec room and I've got this sim. It's awesome. You know, the whole plan for when I got my sim was I want to get it up to speed and usable as soon as possible. Which was, I prioritize usability even though I haven't finished building it yet. And like I have the seats. I have seats which are on J rails. They look just like the pilot's seats. And I have, and I've got butt kickers in them so that when there's vibrations supposed to be in the sim, I feel it in the seat. And also the seats are electrically controlled for the up and down. So I got 4 inches of movement for up and down, which is similar to the real aircraft, so that when you're coming in for a landing, you're sitting a little bit higher and further forward, and then you're more relaxed during the flight.
Edmonton Center, good evening. Cessna 32 Golf Sierra Tango Charlie on the ground at Springbank requesting IFR to Red Deer. We have Calgary's information Mike.
Sierra Tango Charlie, Edmonton Center, good evening, stand by.
Edmonton Center, Air 563, requesting another flight doctors for 5 minutes.
Air 563, not a problem, let me know when you're back.
Will do, thank you.
Edmonton Center, Air Canada 250 would like to request RNAV Zulu, runway 20 with a DUTCO transition.
Air Canada 250, Edmonton Center, checks RNAV Zulu, DUTCO transition, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to clean up this routing here.
Golf Sierra Tango Charlie,
Go direct from DUTCO to Gabat. So let's look at our legs page and DUTCO to Gabat. So we bring Gabat up to under DUTCO and execute. Okay, that takes the...
Sierra Tango Charlie, read back is correct. Call ready for taxi. And I'll just have a data set for you.
That gets the shape better. Okay, so far so good on this flight, guys.
And Sierra Tango Charlie, 8 to 7 now. Current information is Alpha and Springbank.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. We'll go take a look at your picture.
What was our fuel? Our pucks 9.3. Or bucks 9.3. So that's actually 600 pounds. So I just need to update a little bit. Okay. So 600 pounds would be 144.2. You know, one of the nicest things about having a full-size cockpit is that you can do multitask and still keep your eyes on the runway and the taxiways. In a sim, it's so difficult because when you're looking down, you can't do a quick glance up at the runway. It's kind of like your whole screen view is down by the pedestal. So I used to find that a little bit challenging to multitask, and also with the overhead panel. But in this sim...
Canada 250, descend 7,000.
Descend 7,000, Air Canada 250. Okay, so now I gotta make sure I've got the tower frequency dialed in my standby area. 0.3. Let's see if they actually have tower. Yep, they still have tower.
And Arctic 119, what approach you planning for runway 12?
ILS for Arctic 119.
Arctic 119, roger, thank you. And flightcraft 201, turn left, direct Oilers on course.
Left, direct Oilers on course, flightcraft 201.
And Edmonton Center, Air North 563, back to the flight deck with you.
Air North 563, roger, thanks. Air Canada 1208, when ready to send 14,000, 14,000. Edmonton altimeter 2972.
Ready to send 14,000,
And 1208, just there isn't an ATIS up in Edmonton currently that I'm registering, but expect runway 20. Edmonton winds currently 110 at 9, altimeter 2972.
Okay, no worries there.
Just a heads up, information now.
Thanks for information.
Information Hotel in It's 29072. Which we still have.
And Air Canada 1570, contact Edmonton Tower now, 118.3, see it.
183, have a good night.
United 2188, contact Salt Lake Center now, 125.575.
125.525 for United 2188, thanks, see ya.
And that's 25575.
25575, United 2188, thanks.
I've got two computers.
Center, Piper Command, Chief, Oxford
I've
Realm
got
One,
a P3D machine for the external view and P3D, and then I have another machine for running the entire cockpit.
Fox Romeo Oscar, copy.
So it's two, and then of course I got the iPad on the side. Okay, here I'm just going to put my finger on the approach. We're going straight here, and then we're going to bear left, and then right base, and then line up with the runway 20. It is an RNAV, so there's no ILS. Yeah, two machines. It used to be, you know,
And United 43 heavy, contact
multiple.
Salt Lake Center now, 125.575.
125.575, United 43 heavy.
Air Canada 250, descend 5,000.
Descent 5,000, Air Canada 250.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you store any electronic devices until we are safely parked at the gates.
Push at 145, when ready, descend 14,000, 14,000. McMurray
In
altitude
final preparation for
297.
landing, please ensure your seatbelts are securely fastened, your seatbelts are in the upright position, and your tray table is stowed.
Could you repeat the
Any hand luggage should be underneath the seat in front of you or placed in the overhead locker. The flight attendants will be passing through the cabin one last time to complete their final compliance check and to collect any remaining cups for glasses.
WestJet 1
Arctic 119, descend 5,000.
Down to 5,000, I'll take 119.
Airfield should be straight ahead. Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty good. There's a little bit of a lag turning the dials on the MCP. I can handle it, but if somebody was coming here fresh, they would have
Romeo Oscar,
some
Papa,
issues.
your FR clearance advisory.
I always wonder whether I should
Ready to copy, Romeo Oscar.
get another machine just for the mode control panel and the airface.
By the Springbank forward
You can
departure,
divide up the
157,
responsibility like that.
1060.
I might try that, but not until I've done a lot of other stuff.
Clear to red deer, Springbank forward departure, time round, runway 17, and squawk 1060, Romeo Oscar Papa. Romeo Oscar Papa, read back is correct. That call ready for taxi, just short of Charlie, please. We'll call when ready for taxi, short of Charlie, Romeo Oscar Papa. Sierra Tango Charlie, have your IFR clearance advice ready to come.
Yep, runway in sight, straight ahead.
Sierra Tango Charlie is ready to copy.
Sierra Tango Charlie, you're cleared to the Red Deer Report by the Springbank.
Returning
forward
left
departure,
downwind
climb
shortly.
Report runway 17 and maintain your squawk 1060.
Clear to this Red Deer Airport by Springbank for departure runway 17 and squawk 0570. Go ahead.
106, sorry, 0570. You're correct. Read back is correct and call ready for taxi.
And Sierra Tango Charlie.
Here we go.
Air Canada 250, you're cleared the Arnhem Zulu runway 20 approach dead code transition.
Okay, cleared Arnhem Zulu runway 20 dead code transition. Air Canada 250.
And Edmonton Center, Air North 563 at the top of our descent.
Air North 563, when ready to send 3000, Yellowknife altimeter 2970.
Down to 3000, altimeter 2970 on Yellowknife for Air North 563.
And Air North 563, can you accept the ILS 34?
Sure can, ILS 34 for Air North 563.
Okay, Air North 563, when able, proceed direct on tax, Oscar Mike Tango Alpha X-ray for the ILS 34.
Direct on tax for the ILS 34 for Air North 563.
Yeah, I used to use a Stream Deck when I had just these two pieces and I had a Stream Deck. Great, it's great for programming tons of stuff. Beautiful.
Yeah, Edmonton altimeter 2972.
See if we can pull up.
United 1860 Edmonton Center, good evening, you're identified, climb flight level 370.
Okay, I've set up my arrivals gate 52 if it's available.
Edmonton Center, 06 Charlie is ready to taxi.
Sure, 6 Charlie, runway 17, altimeter 2977, taxi Charlie Alpha, cross runway 08, hold short runway 17.
Runway 17, taxi Charlie Alpha, cross 08, hold short 17, go Jessica Charlie.
Beat me to it, Edmonton Center, Romeo Papa, holding short, Charlie, ready to taxi. Okay, Romeo Papa, runway 17, altimeter.
All right, flaps 1 we'll need
taxi
for 210 knots.
Alpha, cross 08, hold short 17. Charlie Alpha, cross 08, hold short 17, Romeo Papa. United 1816, proceed direct to Ovis on course.
Direct Jovis on course.
On the turn we'll go to flaps 5 and we need below 250 and we're fine with that.
And Delta 1459, contact Salt Lake Center now, 125.57.
Let's just do that now.
2557,
Flaps 5.
59, thank you for the ATC.
Yeah. Push at 145, contact McMurray arrivals, 120.1, see ya.
201, thank you for ATC, left that one code.
On the turn we'll go to 185 knots.
Push at 1402, current information in Fort Murray's Charlie, expect runway 26.
A little bit slower than the guidance, but I like to get to my...
FedEx 587, when able, proceed direct on tax for the ILS runway 34.
base level at 185 knots for the intercept.
And FedEx 587 Heavy, when ready to send 3000 to Yellowknife altimeter 2970.
2970 down to 3000 already, FedEx 587.
Center Golf Yankee Echo Hotel. Golf Yankee Echo Hotel and take that.
Yankee Echo Hotel is at Springbank, looking for VFR to ready and 500 to Bravo.
Yeah, Yankee Echo Hotel, if you could file a VFR flight plan for me, I would appreciate it. I'm too busy to do that right now.
Roger, I'll go ahead and fill out VFR.
Okay, thanks very much. I appreciate that.
So on go.
At Arctic 119 via MyPlot, you're clear of the ILS runway 12 approach.
Right, here we go.
Clear ILS 12 via MyPlot for Arctic 119er.
Air Canada 250, contact Edmonton Tower now, 118.3.
Edmonton Tower 118.3, Air Canada 250, good night. Edmonton Tower, Air Canada 250, good day. We are on the RNAV Zulu runway 20.
Air Canada 250, Edmonton Tower, good evening. Wind 0907, you're cleared to land runway 20.
Cleared to land runway 20, Air Canada 250. All right, let's get gear down. Okay, we have FAC and glide path.
Edmonton Tower, hello again. WestJet 240 with information. India request IFR to Calgary.
Flaps 15, 200 knots, flaps 15.
WestJet 240, Edmonton Tower, good evening. You're cleared to the Calgary Airport via the Javon 1 departure. Flight plan route. Depart runway 12, squawk 40661.
And flaps 30 is speed check 175, not quite there yet. Come on, let's go down. Okay, 174, flaps 30.
Can you repeat the departure for WestJet 240?
150 knots.
WestJet 240, Edmonton Tower, stand back.
Lights on, landing checklist. Landing checklist, engine start switches to continuous
WestJet
speed
240,
brakes.
that's the Javon 1 departure.
Landing gear down, flaps set and green. Landing checklist completed. And we'll be vacating in Bravo 4 to the left.
Javon departure, runway 12, squawk 4060 and runway 12 for WestJet 240.
WestJet 240, read back correct information in India's current. Push and start at your discretion. Give me a call later for taxi.
Push and start it into discretion, and we'll give you a call when ready to taxi. WestJet 240.
Bravo 4 to the left. Okay, 1000. Autopilot disconnect. Got a crosswind, 7 knots.
0.
Approaching minimums. 400. Minimums.
Check, landing. Auto throttle disconnect.
300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Air Canada 1208, Edmonton Tower, good evening. Maintain 170 until the pass.
It will take the captain a few moments to taxi to the gate, and we ask that you remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the seatbelt sign is...
Air Canada 250, welcome to Edmonton, where are you parking this evening?
Gate 52 if possible.
Any indication that it is safe to get up and move about the cabin. We also ask that you keep the arms
Air Canada 250, you're in luck, it's open. Taxi Bravo 4, Bravo, Alpha, Oscar, paper on your discretion.
Okay, Bravo 4, Bravo, Alpha, Oscar, park at our discretion, Air Canada 250, thank you.
Crew, we would like to thank you for flying with us and wish you all a pleasant stay. Thank you.
Okay, we got our Bravo 4. Hey, thank you. Yeah, that was a better one. Let's check the landing rate once we get parked. Okay, so we're Bravo 4. Bravo 4, Bravo. Okay. Alpha. Hang on, Bravo 4.
Air Canada 1208, expect late landing clearance.
Oh, I see. We
for the
got
final approach.
to turn here. Okay. So the parking bay I know is on the other side of that cool shaped building, the main terminal or tower. Okay, that's right. So we were going to do Bravo and then Alpha, so it'll be a left on Alpha, and then Oscar. Okay. Roger.
In Tower WestJet 240, is it possible for us to do an Alpha 2 departure?
Air Canada 1208, wind 0907, you're clear to land runway 20.
So this must be it. This is, no, it's a left turn.
Arctic 119er, Edmonton Tower, 5 mile final, 12.
Arctic 119er, Edmonton Tower, good evening. Expect late landing clearance.
Roger, Arctic 119.
Strobe off.
WestJet 240, Fagan request.
APU on the bus. APU bleed on. Some of these aircraft are not real. I think the ones to the right, swoop, those are not real. Okay, so it's going to be our next.
Arctic 119er, winds 0907, you're clear to land runway 12.
Clear to land 12, Arctic 119er.
WestJet 240, Edmonton Tower.
WestJet 240, go ahead.
WestJet 240, what was your request?
My request is if we were able to do a departure from taxi Alpha 2.
WestJet 240, yeah, that should be fine. Push and start at your discretion, give me a call and ready to taxi.
Okay, thank you. We'll report on the rest of the taxi.
Air Canada 1208, welcome to Edmonton. Where are you parking this evening?
Thank you. No gate. I'll take it.
Air Canada 1208, taxi Bravo 2, Bravo, Victor,
Okay,
apron on your discretion.
Bravo 2, Bravo, Victor,
I see the marshaller. It's that. I think it's the first one to the right of the tower. Although technically this is 50, so it's not. We don't go in this way. That's what I remember now. It's kind of weird. You end up about the same spot, but at a different angle for 50 and
Arctic
for
119er, welcome to
52.
Edmonton. Where are you parking this evening?
Arctic 119er, any gate's fine.
Arctic 119er, taxi Alpha 1, Alpha, Delta Delta, apron your discretion.
Alpha 1, Alpha, Alpha Delta.
Turn the taxi light off, not to blind the marshaller. Well guys, thanks for joining the flight. I didn't put any advertisement about when I was flying because I didn't know if I was going to have issues based on my last flight. But, okay, come on, we can go a little bit more.
Air Canada 1208, that will be your immediate left-hand turn for you, sir.
Wish we had more gradual control over our taxi speeds. This poor guy's got his arms stuck. Come on. Okay.
Tower
So
with WestJet 240,
APU running.
were you trying to contact me?
Shutting down at 1 34 Zulu. And welcome to Edmonton. And just a couple of things I need to do here for set times. We'll let the folks out of their seats for the moment. We'll request ground power. And let's see, our takeoff was at 0014, landing was at 0126. Elapsed time was 1:12 and 7 seconds. Fuel remaining. We've got the ground power available. Okay, let's get the ground power on, APU off. Let's switch off all the fuel tanks. So our fuel remaining was 8,244 pounds. And our landing rate, you know, I felt like that was a pretty smooth landing. So let's see if that's true. But let me first request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
Okay, and we'll let folks out of their seats. We've already done that. Let me just shut off some things.
Passengers deboarding starting.
Okay, passengers deboarding. I think that looks good. So, landing rate. Any guesses? Hey, thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Take care, man. You gonna see the landing rate? Oh man, what was this ETC about? 13575. I already did. Okay, so landing rate. So I gotta pull up smart cars, and what? Touchdown at a minus 149 feet per minute. I thought it was better than that. Okay, minus 149. Go figure. You know, when I landed at Riyadh on my last flight, actually I had a good landing rate. It was under 100. It's like 85 or something. But because I had to disconnect from the network before I parked at the gate due to having no control over my pedestal and my overhead, the Smart Cars app, this app, didn't conclude my flight, and it didn't record my landing rate. So when I get a good landing rate, it doesn't pick it up. But when I get one that's not so good, anyway, it's all fun. Guys, let me see. Where did you get the yoke? Do you know if it's compatible with? Oh yeah, I mean, these are pretty basic. I mean, they're nicely made, but it's basically USB, so it's just like any other yoke. So for sure, you'll be able to use this and the pedals. These are from Precision. This is Precision Flight Controls. So they mount on the floor. They're very heavy. The one disadvantage, and I'll show it to you, is that they're slightly taller than they should be. So that if I really wanted to turn wildly, I'm hitting the underside of my glare shield, which is crazy, but I find that I'm never going that crazy, so it actually works fine. But I got another brand here from Turkey, I think, which is the right height, and it also tilts forward in its resting position, just like the real controls. So I haven't tried those yet. It's in position, but these Precision Flight Controls, they feel really solid, so that's why I like them. So if you don't have a real sim cockpit, and you're okay with it being slightly taller, it's heavy, and it's, I mean, I haven't even got it screwed in the floor, and it doesn't move around. So that's where it is, Precision Flight Controls. All right, guys, give you a parting shot from outside. There we are. And oh, you can't see very well. You know what? I can give you a parting shot from your view. Let's see, I can control this. Hold on. Yeah. So there you go. That's the Edmonton control tower. And that's us. All right. So with that, we'll say sayonara, and we'll catch you on the next one, which is tomorrow. I guess I'm going to fly it anyway to Montreal, and hopefully Furmal, who is the tower controller, he also does ATC streaming for Montreal. We'll catch him again, and this time, if I can, I'll have his stream open on my iPad so I can flash back and forth between that. All right. Ciao for now, guys. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.